Hi guys, and welcome to the video today. Now, I've been getting a lot of questions about hashtagging. How do you use them? What is their main purpose? And so today I just want to show you 3 different ways that you can use hashtagging. Now, this isn't an exhaustive list because people use them in different ways. People kind of use them ironically, people use them to kind of draw attention to how they're feeling that day. So it's not, as I say, it's not completely a whole list, but I'm going to show you 3 ways which I think it will be important for your business. Now I'm going to show you that across 3 different, actually 2 of my pages and my profile. So first of all, I've come to the Art of Crafts page, and I think this is a good way of showing you how it works well for products. So here earlier this morning I just added a link to a bracelet on my Etsy store, and I'm going to show you 2 different hashtags here. So first of all, I hashtagged Etsy. Now if you click through to that, you will get everything that comes up that has been hashtagged with Etsy. Yes, there is something of mine there, but there's also lots of other people that have hashtagged it Etsy. Now on Facebook, it tends to show up obviously there's going to be thousands and thousands of things hashtagged as Etsy, so you'd obviously need to add some different things, like this person has acrylic paintings. But the people that you're connected to through your page or your friends, those peoples are going to probably show up higher up the list, and also your own things that you've hashtagged as well. So it's just a way of showing up. You might get found through that search, because if someone clicks on Etsy, they might have a quick scroll through, especially if they're connected to you, and they might find your product or your blog post or your service or whatever it is. Obviously I'm giving the example of Etsy, you can use whatever you want. Now let's just head back to my site. Now on this bracelet, to narrow it down, I also hashtagged with what it was. So it's an aventurine bracelet. Now obviously you could hashtag again something that is a longer tailed keyword. Now what do I mean by longer tailed keyword? So instead of just having bracelet, which is a 1-word keyword, you could have green sterling silver bracelet. So that makes it a long-tailed keyword. So if somebody types in bracelet, millions and millions of searches are going to come up. But by typing in exactly what it is, aventurine bracelet, there's probably going to be a lot less other things on there that are tagged in that way. So let's just have a look. If I click through to aventurine bracelet, obviously my one comes up at the top. Oh, and there is just one other one. So you can see that if, say, somebody was on another site and they thought, oh, I really like the colour of that, I like that stone, let's see if there are any others, they would click on that, and yours stands a chance of coming up in the search. And I'm just trying to show you the difference between putting something down as Etsy, which obviously thousands of things are going to come up, and also narrowing it down so that people also might be able to find it if they're looking for something that is very specifically what you're offering. Now don't go too crazy in making it too exact, because probably not many people are going to click through to that. If you put something like 7-inch pink sterling silver bracelet, perfect for the summer, no one's going to click through on that. So you don't want to go too long or too crazy, but going slightly longer with the keyword, and when I'm saying the keyword I'm talking about the hashtag, makes it show up when people are looking for very specific searches. So I hope that helps. That's the first way of using a hashtag. It is to help you show up in search. Okay, so the next way is branding yourself. So for example, over here on my pet page, obviously Pet Hooligans is quite an unusual name, so if someone hears Pet Hooligans, they're going to know that it is specifically about my site and my pet directory and my pet blog. And you can probably do that with your business, so you could use your business name or something very specific to you. So you could even, this is more search rather than branding, but you could put Life Coaching Bristol or something like that. Now that is more search, but if you also wanted to include your name in there, you could do that. So I don't know, Sarah Smith Life Coaching, whatever it was. And if you put that on say your blog post that you put out, now you don't want to put it on everything on your page. For example, if I'm sharing something from somebody else, I'm not going to brand that with Pet Hooligans. But if I'm asking a question, I might brand it with Pet Hooligans. And if you click through here, you can see that some of my blog posts that have come directly from the Pet Hooligans blog, I've branded in the same way. So that one shows up, Alyssa from Paws for Design, the question that I put on there this morning, and this company that listed on my Pet Hooligans directory, again I branded it with Pet Hooligans. So it's just a way of, if you did sell a particular product, say you're an artist and you put your artist's your name on there as the artist, so George Franklin off the top of my head, if you put George Franklin on that and it was always related to your art, when somebody clicked through, all your different artwork that you had branded in that way would show up. So this is more of a way of, instead of search in the sense that other people's things are showing up, this is a way for you to demonstrate to people more of what you particularly have got to offer. So with me on Pet Hooligans, it's all my Pet Hooligans blog posts. It could be your you know, your sterling silver bracelets that you make, and you put your business name on there. You know, if your Turquoise Crafts is your name, I'm just trying to think of things that aren't people's names, and you put Turquoise Crafts after everything as your brand name, anything that you tagged would then show up when people clicked through. So say they liked one of your, I don't know, card designs, and you branded it Turquoise Crafts, if they clicked through on that, all of your different crafts designs would come up, all the ones that you had hashtagged Turquoise Crafts. So I hope that makes sense. Please feel free to leave any questions below this if anything I'm saying doesn't make sense, and if I'm explaining it too much, it's just to make sure that I'm kind of covering all the different areas. Right, so the last hashtagging, I'm actually going to go to my profile for this. Now this is good for kind of referring back. Maybe you want to bring up some of your blog posts that you've done in the past, refer back to something. Now this, I've just branded it, it's just simply a photo, and I don't know if you've seen around a lot of the social media sites, they have Throwback Thursday, and that's why I say it's good for you know, talking about maybe something that you posted in the past. I just simply did it on a photo, but if you click through to that, now Throwback Thursday is a hashtag that a lot of people use, and it's just a way of showing that it's, you know, an older, it's something from the past basically. So you can see these are people that I'm connected to. You see that's mine come up there, all their different posts come up, and they're all hashtagged Throwback Thursday. So people, you can see people with their kids in school. Now I'm not saying you always have to use Throwback Thursday. What I'm saying is this is a well-known hashtag on Facebook, on Twitter, and you can do a search and you might see different hashtags as you move around the sites. Just click on them, click to see if they're relevant to you, and then you can start using them, if obviously not other people's brands, but if they're relevant to you in some way. I think on Twitter they have something called Handmade Wednesday, for example. So everybody that's, you know, wants to talk about handmade things on that day or brand their stuff in a particular way so that it gets found, hashtag it with Handmade Wednesday. So with this one, just see what comes up for you as you go around Facebook, Twitter, see what other hashtags are being used, and then maybe see if it's something that you can use. So if you're doing Throwback Thursday, find one of your older blog posts, one that's still, you know, still relevant today. It's got evergreen content. And what do I mean by evergreen content? One that isn't, you know, date specific or anything like that. It's content that stands the test of time. Post again about it on your page or your profile. Title it Throwback Thursday. Say the reason why, you know, this is a blog post from blah and it's about whatever. Tag it in that way, and then if people click through on that hashtag, there's another way of being found. All of the hashtags are really about visibility, either you showing up in search for a particular type of product or service, or location, something like that. Remember, if you've got a very local business, you could always hashtag it. As I talked about with the life coaching, you could hashtag it for your area. So if you offer plumbing services in Chicago, you could put Chicago plumbing. It's just a way of, you know, if people are then looking for a plumber in Chicago or wherever it is, they click through on that and you've got more chance of showing up, of being visible. So that's for the search. Then you've got the ones where you're branding yourself. So with My Pet Hooligans, put your brand name on certain things. Don't put it on everything, but put it on either your blog posts or things that are your product or are related to your service. And the third way is things that other people are hashtagging across social media, and the example here is Throwback Thursday. So that's 3 different ways of using hashtags. There are others, as I've said. People use them in all sorts of different ways, but I think to show up, to get visible, to get found, those are 3 really good ways of using them. So as I've said, if you've got any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'm happy to come back and answer any, and I hope that's helped. Thanks a lot for watching, guys.